Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian from Whisper Status 74. Latest on CES from Vizio, announcing their OLED line and updates to their Quantum P-Series X line. This is very exciting news. Many of us knew that OLEDs were going to be announced through Vizio this year. And what's interesting, going through these articles, and I recommend, other than just watching CES on YouTube, is check out articles. Let's go back to the old school of reading CNET, Digital Trends. Here's The Verge. Just because the written word is so much more important when we talk specs and we talk the lineup versus somebody like myself who's just saying a video or showing you footage. I can't show you footage due to copyright, but we can go through this article together and I can give you my thoughts on it. First, before we start this video, guys, there's a 50% group out there that is so excited about CES, can't wait to see what's coming out. There's also a group that just bought displays or within the last few months or is comfortable with what they have that gets a little uncomfortable. Now, I know that sounds like I'm saying it's weakness. It's not. There's only natural to say, hey, I just bought this, I just bought that, and I don't want what I have to be obsolete. That is natural, guys. We're going to cover that in our CES wrap-up when we do everything. But don't feel that way. I mean, the TVs you're buying at this moment are marked down so much from their original price. And if you're into 4K, 4K at 60 is amazing. 4K at 120 is going to be great. The horsepower required for that is going to be down the road quite a bit. So enjoy what you have. Realize you're buying these displays at such a deep, deep discount. And don't be afraid of the future. I mean, some of this stuff is super exciting. We have to all be exciting. As a content creator, guys, I am exciting. I'm always going to look ahead and always cover this stuff. So I had to get that out of the way. Sorry. But we talk about this in terms of OLED. OLED disappearing because of micro LED or mini LED. I don't think that's the case. Also, LEDs disappearing. I think you're going to see them dissipate in the next few years, but by this article and a lot of what the other manufacturers are showing, LED's not going anywhere either. So good news on both points. For this video, we're going to stay on Vizio. Tomorrow night, Sony will be doing their press conference. Samsung had shown some of their 8K displays. We'll do these videos every day, basically. And no one knows how to cannibalize their own content like I do. So forgive me for that, guys. I put out a couple videos a day sometimes. All right, Vizio is going big at CES 2020. Lineup of 4K HDR TVs, but hey, we're not going with 8K yet. So that is good news for people that are nervous for 8K. I don't think you should be nervous for 8K, but a lot of LG is definitely doing 8K OLEDs. Same with Samsung and Sony, but Vizio and they're staying with 4K for this generation unless they announce something else. Okay, here we go. The company's also grander ambitions, is introducing its first TV to feature an OLED panel. So Vizio is now joining LG and Sony, don't forget Hisense and Panasonic, in pushing that display technology. Though the company is still equally proud of the advancements mainstream LCD sets, the OLED might be the new flagship. And some of you guys are excited about this with the Quantum X P-Series, that they're also going to release the 85-inch P-Series Quantum X. And also they're going to stay with their budget lines, the V series and the M series. I believe this article illustrates all the models that they have announced. Here's their processing. A lot of that stuff is really a lot of marketing through here. This is where it gets important, though. Its company calls the Pro Gaming Engine, which will support variable refresh rates, AMD FreeSync, not G-Sync. FreeSync is open source. Hopefully they'll do G-Sync as well, since NVIDIA has the market share at the moment. And for gaming at up to 120 Hertz, that means it will have HDMI 2.1 capabilities. It remains to be seen on how many ports. That is important. Sometimes only one port will have that. You'd have to get some kind of splitter. But FreeSync, exciting. I would need G-Sync, which is why the LG C9 is so important to so many gamers right now. But that is still great. And you'll see FreeSync most likely is going to be supported by, or definitely be supported by, the Xbox One X, the Xbox Series, and the new PlayStation. So that's good news. Okay, here we go. Low input lag in their past, one HDMI input. We've already done that. I've actually used it on the new Quantum X P series I have. Here we go. Vizio has also made the upgrade to HDMI 2.1 across the line. So that's great. A lot of us thought that was going to happen with a lot of TVs this year, to have HDMI 2.1 become commonplace. Here's their announcement. You have P-Series Quantum X, P-Series Quantum, P-Series M-Series, the M-Series, M8, M7. The M, that was confusing for many of us last year, and the V-Series. Now again, these are just numbers. The P-Series Quantum X will have up to 792 zones, up to 3,000 nits, and we'll look at the regular P-Series, 240 zones. I guess I imagine we're going by size here. You know, the 85 inch is probably going to be the one that has that many zones. That's not really clear, but these are the numbers that many of us look at. And keep in mind, a lot of it is marketing, by the way. Again, HDR10 Plus, Dolby Vision. Variable refresh rate, 48 hertz, 120 hertz, 48 hertz, 60 hertz. So we'll go back up. So the variable refresh rate, if I'm panning down, looks like that's only going to be on the Quantum X and the P-Series Quantum at 120 hertz. And down below, looks like that. It might be for all of them, because it looks like it's all combined here at the bottom. So we'll have to see when they come closer. But the real news for them is the OLED. So let's get down to that. I would say immediately, bad news for me would be 65 inches and 55 inches only at this time. So I think a lot like when the Vizio Quantum launched in 2018, it was available in one size, which was 65 inches. I'd like to see that available in larger sizes, since so many of you are jumping up. But again, 55 inches and 65 inches are still the most popular sizes going right now. Vizio has gone OLED. It's almost certainly that, just like Sony, Vizio is using an LG panel in its first ever OLED TV. If the company wants to stand out, it's going to have to do so through picture processing and performance. Now, I want to stay there for 1 second, guys. It's well known that they all use an LG panel, and people have said the LG OLEDs are better than Sony because they use an LG panel. It's not necessarily true. Sony doesn't make their own panels. It's Sony's processing that makes the big difference. And I've seen even with the Vizio here, processing is where the money is really spent. So regardless of what panel you use, it's your processing for your company that really makes the difference and will make the huge difference here. We've seen with Hisense's new OLED how high their input lag is, how poor the gaming performance is so far. That's processing, guys. Sony, LG, and Samsung have spent money, years and years and years of R&D, and that's where I think these companies, as much as I'm a fan of Vizio, TCL, and Hisense, definitely in the processing, it's a huge difference to keep in mind. So just because Sony uses LG panels doesn't mean that LG has a better OLED. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that it's up to these displays, these companies, to have the better processing, which is why I'm glad they put that here. My mouse is all over the place. And that's a little bit of what the base will look like. Finally, we're getting away from the wide base. Probably still fit a soundbar there. Vizio is highlighting the usual strengths of OLED: perfect blacks, vibrant color, and contrast. The LCD can never quite match. But this set will also get variable refresh rate, free sync, and buttery smooth 4K to 120 hertz. So again, HDMI 2.1, which again is interesting because Sony's A9G and Sony's OLEDs didn't have HDMI 2.1, which is why I think the C9 is getting this late push, because they have that. HDMI 2.1, not important at the beginning of the year, more important now, at the beginning of 2020 and at the end of 2019 when G-Sync threw themselves in there. So that's all the news we have on the OLED. What are my thoughts on it? To me, more the better. I think having the Quantum X available in 85 is also exciting. But outside of Vizio, because this isn't a Vizio channel, if you guys have just met me, because of the Quantum X, It's going to be every display. I cover everything. And I'm excited. I think the more OLEDs and the more LEDs, the better. I never want to see one push the other out. I'm excited for whatever Vizio and the other brands bring out. What we have to keep in mind, though, guys, is that OLEDs are a very fragile technology. So it's going to be interesting to see how, Hisense and TCL and any of these other companies that sometimes have issues with screen uniformity, they have issues with their lineups, their manufacturing practices, how OLEDs end up, how they behave with screen uniformity issues and all the other problems that they end up having, dirty screen effect. We'll have to see. There is a certain get what you pay for in terms of the processor that I mentioned. So, Sony, Samsung, LG, that is to me where you say, hey, you get what you pay for, is really in the processing, not just the smart features or anything like that. That's one part of how the operating system works. The processing is what I mean by image quality, how it handles image quality, color, the elegance of the local dimming, things like that. OLED doesn't have local dimming, but how it handles the processing in games and movies is really the processor, which is why they market it so heavily. Vizio is not there yet. Either is, in my opinion, TCL or Hisense as far as the processors. The picture quality is very close and looks nice, and we'll see how the OLEDs do, but I'm very fascinated to see how Vizio handles OLEDs. But it's not shocking news. But again, guys, if you just bought a display, don't feel bad about it. You're buying things at such a deep, deep discount. If you just bought a 77-inch OLED for $3,000 off, or you bought, say, the P series I have here, that TV launched at $3,500. I mean, you're getting it at such a deep, deep discount. So that's the only dicey thing about buying this time of year, guys, with CES right around the corner. But now keep in mind, there is no pricing here. So it's kind of like the stock market. You can wait all you want. Like right now, for instance, you can do a video on this. You can wait as the inventory depletes and see what you like out here. There is a moment, though, where the inventory will dissipate and it's not going to be replenished. Namely, say the LG C8 was the biggest bargain in LEDs while the C9 was expensive. Well, guess what? The C9 has dropped. The C8 is gone. Very hard to find a brand new C8 anywhere, and it looked just as good as the C9 minus HDMI 2.1. So it is a dicey time for us that are in the market. Me as a content creator, not really nervous about it. I'm going to be buying and selling displays. The Quantum XP series, I either keep or I won't keep. I'll either sell it or I'll keep it. So I understand what it's like as a person buying a TV just for yourself, how nerve-wracking it could be. Don't make it harder than it is. Think about what you want going forward. If you were interested in OLED, would I buy a first-generation OLED from Vizio? Probably not, for me personally, just like I wouldn't buy the mini LED from the TCL. I'm all over the place now. I wouldn't buy their mini LED first generation. It's first generation tech. There's going to be some issues with it. So as fans of tech, it's super exciting, and something that we look forward to. But we got to find a way to just be excited and not take it so serious to where it's going to make us lose sleep. Because believe me, I know what it's like to lose sleep over it. I'm excited for Vizio. We'll see what Sony brings tomorrow, and we'll be throwing CES information in all my videos all day. I'll be looking at tomorrow an LG 86-inch that we purchased from my wife's office. We'll see how that one handles flash lighting. But for me, guys, it's exciting. New technology is exciting. I like seeing that Vizio is actually staying with 4K here. 8K, again, true 8K is going to be hard to find content unless you are a content creator. If you create with 8K and you're somebody that uses that production, as far as the bandwidth, and if you need it for photography, 8K is great. But it's nice to see 4K still be here, and it's nice to see that they're doubling down and keeping their LED line safe and sound. Long video. I'm sorry I just threw it in here, but we'll be doing this with CES. I hope everybody is well. I personally am excited, but for me, as somebody who is in the 75 inches and up, it doesn't excite me as far as availability. My want would be 77-inch would be the best size for me in my room for OLED, but Vizio is going to be doing a 65 and a 55. Like I said before, I think they're going to try that and then probably get larger. We'll see how they do. Quickly before I sign off, I just think that companies like Vizio, Hisense, and TCL have to do some serious marketing as far as what they did with their availability. I did a video, please check it out. It's about 3 or 4 videos back about buying displays you can't see. The Vizio Quantum XP series was not available in store for the first few months of its launch to see. So they got to get better at making these displays visible in store. That is not just up to them, that is up to the companies that they work with, namely Best Buy. They need to purchase more real estate. That's something that they have to do, but I think they have to be better at that. There's some really great displays from TCL, Hisense, and namely the H9F, the 6 series, even the mini LED, and the Vizios that were not available to see in store. That is something they need to change if they want to make a dent in this market. They have to change that. They have to, because the average person, actually guys, the average person does not care about the things that we care about. As much as we're geeking out over this, believe me, I talk to the regular people about TVs all day. They could care less about the things that we love. We geek out over this, but you got to make this stuff visible for the enthusiasts, not through videos, but in person. I hope you're enjoying CES. Guys that are excited about it, be excited about it. Guys that are nervous about it, if you have a 4K display now that has HDR capability, that is of good quality, don't be nervous. You know, you're going to see differences. The differences that I've named here are incremental in terms of HDMI 2.1. These are things that might not even be visible on screen. If you have 4K 60 now, you have HDR now, the jumps in technology shouldn't make you scared, shouldn't make you worry that you made a mistake. You bought a display at a very, very deep discount. Enjoy every second of it. Please don't let my videos or anything from CES make you feel like you bought something obsolete. There's nothing obsolete. You have 4K at 60, you have HDR, you have an amazing baseline. Be happy with what you have, but at the same time, let's be excited about where the industry is going and that we see both OLEDs and LEDs doing amazing and continuing to grow. I hope everybody is doing awesome. I will talk to you later. And again, I'll be doing videos every single day. Please check the other videos as I put them out. I put out 2 or 3 sometimes. Please like, subscribe, and would love to see you guys in the community. All right, guys, take care. Talk to you soon.